What's good, Commanders fans? So I think we've all heard by now that the Washington Commanders, Ron Rivera, did make a strong offer for Russell Wilson. We don't know what the deal was, but Aaron Rappaport says, how serious are the Commanders in their search for a quarterback? Sources say they made a strong offer to the Seahawks on Russell Wilson. It did not go anywhere, but a sign that Washington is ready to deal. And given what they have on the roster, they may be a quarterback away. Washington has called essentially everywhere about finding a quarterback. We heard about them calling all teams in the NFL, about 42 quarterbacks. And the rumor that they called about Patrick Mahomes shows how desperate the Washington Commanders are. Their call to the Seahawks shows a commitment to swinging big. They went 7-10 last year with a solid backup in Taylor Heineke. A surefire starter changes everything for a team ready to compete. What else did Rappaport say? Oh, and then he made a video saying that they tried multiple first-round picks. And then the reporter who was with Ian Rappaport on NFL Network at the Combine was like, didn't John Snyder and Pete Carroll say that they're not trading Russell Wilson, which is what Pete Carroll said. And then Russell Wilson went on Good Morning America, the Today Show. And then the news reporter who was doing the opening ceremony or whatever it was for the Commanders' the name release, he was the same guy who did the interview with Jason Wright and John Allen. Then he asked Russell Wilson and Sierra, what about Washington? And Russell Wilson, I forgot what he said, but basically he said he's going to stay in Seattle. He's happy with Seattle. More and more, I think the writing is on the wall. We're not going to get one of these big name quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers already said, or Dianne Rossini, who has been in the know, already went on the radio with Kevin Sheehan and said that Washington is not one of those destinations for Aaron Rodgers. He does not want to come to Washington. And then Green Bay, they don't want to trade within the NFC, which is, of course, smart. Why would you trade Aaron Rodgers to the NFC? It makes zero sense. Russell Wilson himself saying that he wants to stay in Seattle. Then Pete Carroll saying that during the interview at the Combine, saying we're not going to trade Russell Wilson. John Snyder did say, this is from Ian Rappaport, that he would pick up the phone, though. He'll pick up the phone, which they did. He stayed honest to his word. But the talks went nowhere, and they basically declined. So, like I said before, it's got to be 3 first-round picks. It's got to be 3 first-round picks to get Russell Wilson. It is what it is. That's what the market is for a quarterback. You look at the trade for Matt Stafford. That's what you got to do for a quarterback. You want to trade for a top 10 elite quarterback, you're going to give up first-round picks. And they probably had to throw in a second-rounder. They haven't revealed the details. We don't know if they put a player in there, one of the D linemen, because we don't really have a lot of star players that you can really throw in a trade anyway. Our best players are on our defensive line. Offensively, we just don't have a lot of stars that are really tradable. So, I mean, yeah, I don't blame the Seahawks for hanging up the phone, to be honest with you. Yeah, it would have to take 3 first-round picks, probably a second, and, yeah, a player or something like that to get a quarterback, because you got to look at it from the Seahawks' perspective. If they trade if they trade their best, if they trade a top 10 elite quarterback and get 3 first-round picks and get a second-round pick and a defensive player, who's going to be their quarterback? It's going to be Geno Smith. So the Seahawks would be in a terrible situation. They would have to rebuild. Pete Carroll, what is he, like 70 years old? Does he want to be in that situation? He might as well retire if they're going to get back 3 first-round picks in a quarterback class that is, doesn't have a slam dunk pick. And then you got to develop a rookie. We don't have a quarterback to send them. They don't want Taylor Heineke. They don't want Kyle Allen, none of those guys. So, we just don't have a lot of assets to give up, to be honest. We really don't. So I'm not surprised. I already made up my mind. I already know I'm not very optimistic on getting somebody. Of course, Ron Rivera did the media mill talking to Josina Anderson, talking to a lot of media people just saying that we're a quarterback away. When last year, he said that we did not have the roster to just drop a quarterback in, even though he tried to trade for Matt Stafford. So obviously what he said to the media did not add up with what he's thinking. And then this year, all of a sudden, now he says that we're just a quarterback away. When he kind of knows that the hot seat is coming, that seat is getting hot. So now he switches up his tune and says that. And now he thinks we're a quarterback away, which is still debatable in my opinion. I think if we get Russ, we'll make the playoffs. But it doesn't mean we're a Super Bowl contender. So when they say quarterback away, it's like, do you mean a quarterback away from making the playoffs or actually contending like how the Rams were when they had Cooper Kupp already? They already had Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, and Robert Woods and all them guys and a couple of good running backs and Tyler Higbee. Like, we don't have an offense like that. We just don't. We don't have the offensive firepower. We have some good players on offense, but we don't have any Pro Bowl. Terry McLaurin's a Pro Bowler. but we don't have like any legit stuff other than Terry. You look around, it's like, okay, we got some good players, but we don't have great players. Like you look at the Rams, they added Odell Beckham as well. They just have more talent than us overall, and they have a better coaching staff. So with this team, we're a quarterback away from, I say, if we get Aaron Rodgers, of course, you're a contender. Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, I think, we're a playoff team. I don't know about Super Bowl contender just yet, especially with how bad the defense was last year. But my prediction for quarterback now, I really think, and they might try to call Russell Wilson, the Seahawks again, and try to offer even more, but they're going to say no. We already know what it is. Deshaun Watson, we'll see. I do think it's a realistic option, but of course you got to wait for the legalities to, whatever's going to happen there. But I'm not getting my hopes on that. What I'm thinking is we're going to swing and miss on the quarterbacks, and I think they're going to bring in Teddy Bridgewater. That's what I think, because he played with the Panthers. Marty Herney was the GM with the Panthers, and you know how Ron and Marty and Marty, they just love familiarity. They love guys that they played with. They love guys that they coached. They love guys that they signed and traded for. And he's a leader. He's a game manager. And that's what they really want. And they want to play on the backs of this defense. And a guy that's not going to make mistakes. If you can't get the big three, they're probably going to get Teddy B on a one-year deal and draft a quarterback. Now, Ron loves Malik Willis. He's kind of playing his cards out there already, saying that he likes him in interviews. So he's kind of just talking a little too much. But that's what my prediction is: Teddy B and Malik Willis. Real quick on Amari Cooper. I see a lot of people sticking their noses up and saying they don't want Amari Cooper, which is fine. Because of the money, of course, we got to pay Terry. But you got to look at it this way. I don't think offensively we can stick our noses up at any talent that's available. You look at our wide receiver core. Terry is the best one by far. Curtis Samuel's not reliable. De'Ami Brown, we don't know what we have yet. So if Amari Cooper had interest in coming to the Commanders, which he kind of did 2 years ago, even though he denied us because, we offered him $22 million. Ron Rivera did that. And Amari Cooper said no because of our quarterback situation. So I really couldn't blame Amari Cooper for saying no, to be honest. Why would he come here when you see the quarterbacks that, were on the team? Case Keenum. Was it Case Keenum? No, it wasn't Case Keenum. It was Dwayne Haskins and I can't even remember who the freak was on the roster at that time. Kyle Allen, guys like that. But yeah, we have our receiving core is like the 20th best receiving core in the NFL. Really, it's like the 19th best in the NFL, to be honest. And like I'll name some teams that have a better wide receiver core than us, including the tight end as well. Of course, the Cowboys, they let Amari Cooper go. But I think the Cowboys, they still technically have somewhat of a better wide receiver core than us. The Chiefs do. The Bills do. The Titans do with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. The Vikings do with Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. The Broncos with Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Tim Patrick. The Niners do with Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk. The Rams do with Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Van Jefferson, Robert Woods. The Dolphins do with Jalen Waddle and Devontae Parker. And their tight end, Gesicki. The Seahawks have a better wide receiver core, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. The list goes on and on. You guys get the point, man. Like, the Bengals have a better wide receiver core. There's just a lot of teams that have better wide receiver cores than us. But like I said, didn't want to make this video too long. So if he wanted to come here on a cheap, favorable deal, which he probably doesn't, I would definitely make a run at Amari Cooper just to get this wide receiver core better, because you can't rely on Curtis Samuel. I do like De'Ami Brown, but I think they just need more proven talent. But you can look at the draft too. There's some good wide receivers in the draft. Sky Moore ran a really good 40. Christian Watson out of North Dakota State ran a really good 40. Who else? George Pickens looks really good. It's Chris Olave, of course, Garrett Wilson, Burks, all them guys. Of course, they look really, really good in the 40. They're all really good receivers. So there is a lot of young talent in this draft. I'm probably missing some guys too. Khalil Shakur out of Calvin Austin out of Memphis too. Those are just some names to drop out there that we could get in the second or third round. So just weigh your options on a wide receiver position. All right, you guys. Hail to the Commanders, or salute to the Commanders. Peace.